Series are starting to make a difference to the environment by introducing eco-friendly paper straws to their 200 ml juice cartons. iloveza.com, in collaboration with Series, are starting up a conservation conversation with some industry experts.
Welcome to Conservation Starter.
Welcome to Conservation Starter. I'm your host, Nabihah Plaatjes, and today on our final episode, we're changing things up a bit. I will be interviewing co-founder of iloveza.com, Ziyaad Plaatjes. Welcome to the show, Ziyaad Plaatjes.
Thank you for having me, Nabihah Plaatjes.
Okay, Ziyaad. So this is our 8th episode?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let's do a quick recap of the first 7 episodes of Conservation Starter.
In the first episode of Conservation Starter, I interviewed Craig Foster, who is best known for the Netflix documentary My Octopus Teacher and is also the founder of Sea Change Trust. We chatted a little bit about conserving the environment and also about International Coastal Cleanup Day, and watch the episode and you can see what we chatted about. In the second episode, I interviewed Samir Randera Rees, who is the Water Source Areas Program Manager at WWF South Africa, and we chatted quite a bit because that was actually 2 episodes.
Yes.
Episode 2 and episode 3. It was quite a detailed discussion around conserving water and what the WWF does, and watch that episode. So episode 2 and episode 3. Then episode 4, Nabihah, you interviewed.
I interviewed Miss Earth SA 2020, Lungo Katete, and it was very insightful, and an insightful look into Miss Earth, the program that they carry out for young women to teach them more about the environment and go into rural areas and learn more and also give back to the community in some way. But I think she also showed us that I actually like one quote that she says. I also believe in that. If we can each do one little thing every day. She meant, Lungu Katete mentioned, I always like to say, if you can do one good green deed a day. That was very clever and a nice, insightful and wise quote to take with us. So that was...
Yeah, but don't give away too much. Watch that episode also. So we're on to episode 5, where we interviewed the founder of African Sea Divers, that's Lorato Mokone, and he took us on a journey of sea diving, as well as he told us a little story about why he got into diving, and a little incident about a sea turtle that you need to watch as well.
Okay, so that was episode 5. Episode 6, you interviewed Najma Mohammed. She is
the policy director at the Green Economy Coalition, and again, very, very insightful, very detailed discussion around global warming, around what the Green Economy Coalition is doing for the environment, and how they are assisting companies to make a concerted effort to conserving the environment. And lastly, we had Martin Neethling, who is the CMO of Pepsico Sub-Saharan Africa, and he gave us some insight into what Pepsico and Series itself is doing to help the environment.
The process of how they came about choosing the paper straws and why these straws do not disintegrate when you chew on them, because we know that normal straws, when you take so long, and you suck and then they get soggy. Series, and we will do a taste test, won't we?
We will.
We'll do a taste test to show you that those straws from series juice cartons, the 200ml juice cartons, actually do not disintegrate. They do not get soggy. And we know this firsthand because we do have a child who does take extra long to drink his juice, to eat, and he does suck on the straw and bite on it, and it actually withstands that, what is that called? Chewing and sucking.
Tormenting the straw.
Shame. So he spoke about that, and he also he spoke about the process of it and why they decided to choose paper straws, as well as some other insightful information.
Yeah, so again, watch that episode. So there's 7 episodes for you to watch. You are currently watching the 8th and final episode of Conservation Starter if you've just joined us now.
Okay, so you did a quick recap of the past 7 episodes, which is available on our YouTube channel on the Series Paper Straw Challenge playlist.
Yeah, hashtag
Series Paper Straw Challenge playlist. We have all 7 episodes, as well as the promo video for most of the episodes before that, introducing who is going to be on that episode. Now, Ziyaad, we've asked each of these people questions that probe them into speaking about the environment and how we can conserve the environment. Tell me, in your own words, in your own opinion, how do you think we can conserve the environment?
Well, I personally think that it starts from a young age. I can remember when I was growing up in primary school, and we used to have a drive every week where each class would try and bring as many newspapers to recycle cans and whatever could be recyclable. And it was a drive to see who could bring the most, and then obviously we would win a prize, whether it was like an 15 minutes extra for lunch, or some sort of incentive when you're at primary school. It's not a cash reward, but it helped us to have a habit of recycling, because we were doing it every week, and we would do it during the week. Then by Friday in assembly they'll announce who brought the most newspapers or whatever it was, and that actually carried through to my older years, I would say. And I would then go to drive out. That was in Durban, so we would drive all the way to Westville, and they had the Mondi paper recycling bins there, and the other tins and glass bottles that you could recycle as well. And we would make sure that we recycle them. So I think it needs to start from that young age, because I've just grown up, trying to conserving water, making sure that when I'm brushing my teeth, I don't leave the water running, or as best I can not water the plants with a hose. I use water either from excess water from the washing machine, or if we're using like any other things where we have water, then we use that to water the plants, or having water-wise gardens. I mean, that's even helps the environment.
What is this water-wise garden?
So instead of having these invasive alien trees in your garden, for one, you would have stuff like succulents, like your like your cactus, or what's these speckworms, and what we call money trees as well, the jade trees, and those retain water, so you don't have to water them as often. but you also have
because I forget to water them.
you also have this nice little garden. So things like that, or just like placing rocks in places so that it doesn't the water doesn't evaporate so much, because the rocks actually help. I was in landscaping, so that's another story. But so those type of things, I was fortunate enough rather to grow up to do those things. But I think there should be more of a drive at school level, at primary school children, or even high school. We grew up, I don't know if you can remember Captain Planet, he's our hero. Going to take pollution down to zero. I'm going to sing the whole theme song. But, we grew up with that, knowing that we need to make sure that we don't pollute, that we save the environment, earth, wind, fire. What are the other ones? By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. And then Captain Planet used to come up, and we used to feel a connection, and we used to feel like we needed to do something because Captain Planet was there and he was watching us. And what was her name? Gaia, the Earth. Anyway,
I don't
a lot
remember.
into Captain Planet. But we grew up with those things. Put it in the Zibby can.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and there was an advert also on TV that would tell us that we need to, when we're brushing our teeth, conserve water. So there was these constant reminders. And I just think that there needs to be more awareness, more PR around it, more media hype, I would say, around conserving there are groups. There's tons of initiatives happening around the world because of the things that we are facing, like global warming and these water crisis, especially here, right in South Africa. We have along the Eastern Cape and Western Cape, there's droughts, and there's people trying to conserve as much as they can. There's companies that's doing that, but there needs to be more awareness, and that was the thought process behind us doing this conservation starter, is speaking to these industry experts. I'm not an industry expert, but the 7 episodes that we had, we spoke to these industry experts, and they gave us some tips, and they told us about what's actually happening. We hear on the surface these things, but we don't know exactly, and these people are in the field, like at WWF, or the Green Economy Coalition, and they know what exactly is happening. And then we have companies like Pepsico, who know what is happening, and they are trying to make the difference. So I think it's an effort from everybody. As you said, from Miss Earth, she said that if one person does one good deed a day, one good green deed a day, then there would be some change. So it's just about everybody making an effort, and yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you. I think also another thing to mention, that in the episode with Laratov, the sea divers,
African sea divers,
he did mention that he was someone who used to litter, and then he obviously changed his ways, and when he became more educated on it, and he educated someone else who he saw littering. Now that's very important, because somehow some people seem to think that they are creating jobs by littering, and that is not true at all. If you see something, you pick it up. Whether it's you who litter or it's not you who litter, you pick it up. But you yourself should actively not litter. Yeah. You're not creating jobs by littering, because you're just making the place more dirtier. You're making it more messier. So I think if you actively realize that you need to put it in a bin, you need to put it, if there's recycle, we don't have that, do we? Different bins. Recycle bins.
I'm sure Pick It Up must have something here in Johannesburg.
So we just need to actively be aware of how we conduct ourselves, because at the end of the day, it's up to us. It's only up to us to save our environment. It's only up to us to save, to make our world cleaner for ourselves and our children. We're not creating jobs. We're not. I actually don't understand that.
It's not only that about creating jobs. It's also, by the time the person who is going to clean the street or wherever it's littered, there's wind involved, now it's raining outside, and these things move, and they move into those streams and the rivers, and then it gets into the sea, and that's what causes the effect on the sea animals. And that's why we end up having these beach cleanup days, international coastal cleanup, and these type of initiatives, which, if you take a step back, if it was put in the bin in the first place, or disposed of appropriately, then there wouldn't be a need for such initiatives. We could be spending time on something more constructive. And there was an interesting talk, I can't remember who the person was, but they came to Durban, and they actually said that the way to clean up the beachfront would be that everybody picked up something in front of them. Whatever they saw in front of them, they would pick it up. But I feel that if somebody didn't litter before that, then there wouldn't be a need for me to pick up something afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely.
You can understand if there's wind and the bin fell over or those type of things, but just walking by and just dropping a can there, or I've seen many people, they would drink something and then leave it next to their car and get in the car and carry on driving, and they just put it in the bin, and that's the end of it. Well. Yeah.
And also, while we're on that subject, throwing things out of the car, have you noticed in any recent years people throwing things out of the car?
Yes, people do. They still do that, whether it's cans, cigarette butts, anything. That's what needs to be done. And there's some countries that they fine you for those things, and those are places that you can go in and you can literally eat off the floor because they're so clean. There's countries where they actually pay you, or they give you, say, a voucher for recycling. So
that
you go
sounds like
into
a good incentive.
So you go in, and it's like almost like not like a vending machine, but something where you put in your glass bottle, and then they say it's worth so much, and you can get back.
Do you think that might work here, though?
There is places that do it, and you see these guys with these, those big trolley bins, and they do it, but I mean, there's not enough of them doing it, and it's so difficult for them to do it on their own because they, carting this big trolley around. That's how they make an income. But if it was in a specific place, or maybe if people went to them, if they had a little, like site where they were, and
I don't think here in South Africa that could be possible.
Anything is possible if we put our mind to it. But there are different ways that we could help. I mean, even the smallest thing about, we're only talking about recycling, but what about saving electricity? We're going through load shedding now. And why are we going through load shedding? Because we won't talk about the politics about it, but people waste electricity. It's a given fact. People leave lights on when they're not in a room, or when they're not in the house or the office. People leave chargers on, plugs on all the time.
Yes, we're looking at you.
So those type of things, just switch it off. If you're not charging anything, it doesn't need to be on.
If you're not in the room, switch the light off.
And it's not only going to help everybody else, it's going to help you as well. It can bring your bill down from 3,000 rand a month maybe to 1,000 rand a month. No, I mean, it's a saving. And it's those small things, installing these solar lights as well outside, in your garden. Okay, solar panels might be a bit expensive, it's costly, but in the long run, it's an investment. You know, if you have the money to do it. So there's lots of ways that you can conserve the environment and look after our environment.
Okay, it's a very passionate topic, hey? I don't know if I should stop you. So you've already given us tips and advice on how we can go forward. I do think on a school level would be great if there are any schools out there who are implementing this and who have been implementing energy saving as well as recycling initiatives. Do let us know so that we can bring light to that and hopefully encourage other schools to pursue that, hopefully encourage other organizations to continue or to start. This is all about starting. You know, we're not saying that we are experts and the people that we've spoken to know everything about conserving the environment, but as we keep mentioning, series have started to introduce something. It's a small step, and with everything, we really need to just take one step and start. And if I do it and you do it, and you all just start one thing, I mean, surely we could make a difference to the environment. What do you think? I
think that's well put.
Thanks. I should be interviewing you, but I just had to say that. Ziyaad, do you have any more information that you'd like to share? Maybe a little more recap on what was your favorite episode before we go into the thanks?
I don't want to pick a favorite episode because that would just be bias. I think each person that I interviewed had their own story to tell. Everyone has their own story to tell, and they came with their own advice and information and insight into conserving the environment. And yeah, personally, I enjoyed all the interviews. You can watch them and see maybe something really hits home for you in one of the episodes. But I've learned a lot over the last 7 weeks, and I'm going to try and implement as much as I can and try and get involved more in some of the initiatives that we have spoken about and that we have learned about in the past 7 weeks.
Okay. We did begin with International Coastal Cleanup Day, but obviously we are currently in a non-coastal area. So to those who are also in inland, what do you suggest they do?
So like we just down the road have a little stream, and it always gets filled with litter. So people in the area can clean up that. They can clean up in their road. There's always litter. If it's not dropped by someone, the wind has blown, like we said, and you know, there's always, even if you stay in a complex, sometimes there's just stuff that blows out of the bin when someone opens the bin because it wasn't put in a plastic bag or whatever the case is. So there's just, you know, starting with those type of things, and then obviously, like we said, recycling. There's also not only recycling products like your paper and metal tins and glass bottles, but there's also your computer batteries. You know, there's the cell phones, that electronics that can be recycled. I know that Macro has something where you can go and just put in your old electronics that can be recycled. So there's those type of things that we just need to make people more aware of, and hopefully people would be able to do those things.
That's actually very interesting because in my mind, recycling material, I would think paper, glass, plastic, and then you mentioned that. So it reminded me that a few years ago we went to a Starbucks event and we had those packets for the pod bags.
Yes.
Do they still have that? Do you know?
Yes. So Starbucks and Nespresso as well, you can recycle your your pods.
Coffee pods.
Your coffee pods. So if you have an espresso machine and you have those little capsules, once you've finished with it, you can put it in a bag and you can go and drop it off at your nearest Nespresso or Starbucks, depending on what the pods are, and that gets recycled.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Choose nature. Choose turtles. Choose tomorrow. Choose to make a difference. Choose eco-friendly paper straws. Choose Ceres.
Thank you for your time. We're going to do a taste test, but before we do that, let's give thanks. So who do we begin with?
We thank the Almighty for the opportunity to do this, to give awareness, for giving us the courage and the guidance to have the series of conservation starter, and the strength to get through. It was quite tough over the last 7 weeks. We went through a lot of trials and tribulations, as it was something new that we were doing.
We went through quite a lot of difficulties, disappointments. It's not just, just here's a camera, let's shoot the video, interview the people, just put it on YouTube. No, there was a lot that went on behind the scenes. There was a lot of editing, and that was just the video part of it. But we're not going to get into that, so we give thanks to the Almighty for guiding us and helping and assisting us to bring this through to you. I'd like you to give thanks to the people whom we interviewed. Please say their names and their companies.
So Craig Foster at the Sea Change Trust. There was Samir Randera Rees at WWF South Africa. There was Lungo Katete at Miss Earth SA. We had Lorato Mokone at African Sea Divers, Najma Mohammed at the Green Economy Coalition, and Martin Neethling at Pepsico. So we thank all of you for your time, for taking the time, and for allowing us to interview you, and for giving us a story to tell.
We'd like to thank Ceres, obviously, for sponsoring our show, for providing us with the lovely juice that has a paper straw. That's a strong paper straw. And for allowing us to have little hampers as well to give away to, well, we'd like to give away to you. So hopefully you are watching this right now and you could be one of the lucky winners. And I'd like to personally thank Ashish Rai from The Life's Way for continuously watching, commenting, sharing every week that we have. Thank you so much, Ashish. He has made a pledge.
Yes.
To, what was his pledge?
Well, he wanted to do more green initiatives, and
so we wish you all the luck with that. Thank you so much to Taryn Victor from Phoenix Media ZA. She's also been very helpful, assisting, commenting, sharing.
very engaging.
Getting very engaging, and she mentioned that she enjoyed the series. I really hope you did enjoy the series. The series of the series.
Conservation
Starter series. Yes, and for engaging with us. And thank you so much to Maya Daji, the food musketeer, who also every week managed to bring recognition and awareness of our program. I'd like to also mention the other bloggers who assisted us from International Coastal Cleanup Day. Janice Liebowitz from Glitter and Toast, Varushka Ramasamy from Spice Goddess Blog, Rulia Skuman from GP Boozy Foodie, Christelle Michelle Kruger from Nocturnal Winchy.
The other bloggers that we would like to give thanks to for creating more awareness around the hashtag Series Paper Straw Challenge and hashtag Keep ZA Clean are Tandi Pagati from Mom Venturing, Rehana Mohammed from ZA Foodie, Dilshad Parker from Hungry for Halal, Nita Dulab from Lifestyle with Nita, Kalpesh Dulab from Foodie Whipped SA, Nicole Moyler from Milletso blog, Darren Mals from More Than Food magazine, and Rebecca Badruddin from In the Stilettos, and Tamron Sher from It's a Sure Thing. Thank you very much for your support. And last but not least, we would like to thank Lola Lazarus from Bullion PR, who gave us this opportunity and trusted us with her client, which is a series, to bring more awareness to what series is doing around their paper straw challenge, and for allowing us to have this series of conservation starter. Thank you very much, Lola.
Thank you so much. We actually can't thank you enough. If you're looking for a PR who actually does their work and knows the industry and actually understands how things work. And
Lola works very meticulously. We've been working with her for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years probably, on various campaigns with her clients. And Lola knows what she's doing, and she knows the environment. She knows what the influence media has on creating awareness. She knows what her clients want, and she knows how to get the message out, what good PR is all about. So Bullion PR, if you're looking for a good PR agency, Lola, we're going to give your details out. People need to contact Lola Lazarus at Bullion PR.
Yeah, I agree completely. Since you're giving out, a PR contacts, we've been working with bloggers and influencers and other digital creators, so we can give you contact on that. So we are the people to contact to find out who is good for your brand, who is good for your business, who would help you to go further. Welcome to our taste test. In his hand on my right, we have a series 100% fruit juice blend, the 200 ml juice carton, with the series paper straw. You may take it out. In my hand, I have a bottle of water, and I have a straw. I'm not going to tell you the name brand of the straw. And I'm going to put it in water now.
I'm going to have series.
Maybe we should mix it up, like switch. You should do the water. Wait. Let me feel it.
It's thick. It's like
I'm also thick.
No, but I'm pressing this and it's not even moving. It's not even changing shape.
Is that hygienic for me to touch your straw? Okay, this one also feels quite thick.
Okay.
I think. See?
Okay. Yeah.
If I press it like this.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to leave it to soak a little.
Okay. I'm going to start drinking.
Why?
Because I want to bite the straw.
Oh, okay.
We're doing a chew test.
All right, so.
I bit mine. I don't know if you can see, but I'm still getting juice out of it.
I got a little paper coming out of mine. Why am I doing this one?
I don't know. This tastes so good though. Medley of fruits.
Okay, let me go back into it.
I'm chewing hard on it. I know it's a bit too much information, but
it didn't disintegrate.
I'm still getting juice. Let's see how it looks at the bottom. It's still got its form. Nothing has changed. It still looks perfect.
This one also. Maybe I should have chosen another one. Okay, it is filling.
No, but what we're showing is that even on such a small paper straw, which is that straight, that's easy to.
Oh, so
This bends. I mean, this is not an easy thing to make. So this is just as durable as the plastic straw, if not more, maybe, we don't know. But it still gives the same. And you tasting paper, I'm not even tasting paper.
Are you not?
No.
Let's switch it up.
And you just chewed on that.
Okay, you can see that mine has started to. Can you see that little piece of? Can they actually see this
Go
little
closer.
piece of paper coming out of that straw? Do I really need to carry on?
No, so I think I still win in this. I'm still getting some. Do you want to taste just to see? Do you mind?
Not from your straw. You bit it.
But you wanted me to taste yours.
Okay, but this is disintegrating. Let's see that one. Because you can see, can you see the paper is coming out
Yeah,
here?
you see, if I push this back, it still looks like the straw, like the normal straw.
Put it together.
Yours is even bending there in the middle.
Okay, well, the bottom is quite soggy, see there.
And this is still the same. Nothing has changed.
Can I touch?
You can touch it?
Oh, it is quite hard.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound so good. Okay.
So we put it to the test. Whoever thought that changing to paper straw wasn't a good idea by series, we've just proved that it is a good idea.
It's obviously not all paper straws, but clearly that one withstood. Chew it some more.
I'm really getting in there.
And then suck.
I don't even taste paper at all.
Don't lie.
And I know what paper tastes like. Don't ask me how. But I know what it tastes like. I don't even get that aftertaste. You know, like when you eat paper, then you get that aftertaste? Don't ask. But
Ugh.
I'm not getting that. And
Good for you.
it's still intact. And you count how many minutes we've been on this. It's probably we've been about 5 minutes at least.
Okay. All right. Okay, we've done the test.
So congratulations to series. Cheers. And
Thank you for making the change, and thank you for not just putting any paper straw to actually engineer something that withstands our kids chewing and biting and what usually makes paper straws soggy. So thank you so much for making the difference, starting to make a difference and making the change. Thank you to all of you who've been watching our series, Conservation Starter series, for the past few weeks. You also deserve our thanks.
Yes, you do. Without the audience every week tuning in, there wouldn't be a show. We wouldn't be able to carry on because we need somebody to watch. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in every week, who's watched all the episodes. Thank you to those who are going back now to watch the episodes that they've missed. And we hope to continue this in the future. Maybe we'll have a second season, who knows.
I'm Nabihah.
And I'm Ziyaad.
And we love ZA.
Join the conversation on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hashtag Series Paper Straw Challenge and hashtag Keep ZA Clean. Subscribe to us on YouTube and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at iloveza.com and log on to our website www.iloveza.com.